So the first thing I'm going to do, or what I did, was I picked a point on my paper and I drew this flat line that went all the way across. And does anyone remember what this line is called? Okay, so this line is the horizon line. I'm just going to write it along. Sorry, that's small. I'll upload a bigger picture of it. So then the next thing I did was I made a dot, and give you guys like a couple seconds. Does anyone remember what this dot is called? Okay, so the dot is our vanishing point. I'm just going to label it VP for right now, standing for vanishing point. Okay, so the first point of view I'm going to do is just like normal eyesight looking towards the horizon. So the first thing I've done is I started to draw just a regular square, or like part of a box. So I just drew the two parallel lines, the two vertical parallel lines. Oop, my lines are a little wiggly today. I apologize. Okay, and then from that box that I just made, the square, I can go in and I can now start to like erase out where the horizon line is. And now I'm just left with the square. And from there, I can now go from this corner and this corner, and I'm going to line it up with our vanishing point. So these lines that I'm drawing are called the convergence lines. So I'm going to start from the top of the box. I'm just going to draw it. And I'm going to use a lighter line for this because I don't want that line to stay permanently on my drawing. And then I'll do the same thing from the corner edge of the box. And then the next step would be to choose a point to then complete my box. So you can see the line that I already drew in there, but say I wanted to make this a really like long rectangle, I could like draw my line out here. And you can see how that starts to create like the effect of it going into the distance. Like this could be a shop, and maybe I could then add in windows or doors. But for now, I'm just going to make it just a cube by adding in this line. I'm going to draw darker now for the cutoff point. And then I can go in and darken up this edge and this one. And then I can erase out any of the parts that are overlapping. So now it looks more like just a box sitting on the ground. So the next point of view that I'm going to do is what's called a worm's eye. So if you imagine like you're a bug and you're like down on the ground, or you're crouching down on the ground and you're going to be looking up at something. So that's what I'm going to draw next, is my box that's like sitting up in the air. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to start off with, and you can put this box anywhere. Like I could stack it on top of this box, like over here, or I could put my box like straight in the middle. I'm going to do it a little off to the side here. So I'm just going to start again by drawing a square. Or a rectangle. I guess this is a little bit more like a rectangle. Okay. And then now I'm going to start to connect. In theory, you would connect all 4 points, but only 3 of these points are actually going to show in the picture. So I'll start off with this bottom edge, and I'm going to connect this corner to the vanishing point. I'm just going to use light lines. And then I'll connect this corner. And then lastly, I would connect this corner. And say this box was see-through, I would then also want to connect this upper corner over here. And I'll just show you what it looks like. Okay, so now you can kind of see where like that box is going way off into the distance. So if I wanted to cap this box off and make it look like it was floating, I would just pick a point like I did over here and just draw my line. Let's make it a little shorter. And then what's different with this view is that I also have a side view. So in order to cap this side and finish off the box, I need to meet this line that I just drew and just draw a straight, like a vertical line going up from there. So the easiest way to do that is just to find that point and to line up your ruler as straight as possible and then just draw your line. Then you can go in and erase out all those soft lines, the light. Okay, so that's our worm's eye view because we are looking up at the bottom of the box. And we're seeing the side of the box, but that's mostly because the box is more off to the side. When you're drawing in worm's eye view and in bird's eye view, you generally see the sides of the box. It's just depends on where the box is placed. So when the boxes or objects are like to the left or to the right of the vanishing point, you'll see the sides of the box, where if you're straight in the middle, you generally don't see the sides. The only viewpoint where you don't see the top or the bottom of your object is when you're in like normal like viewpoint, like in a you're like right on the horizon line kind of view. So this one here. The last one I'm going to show you is the bird's eye view. So that means our box is going to be below the horizon line. So same process again. Start off with, I'm going to make it a rectangle this time, like a true rectangle. And I'm going to connect all my edges. And I line this up like kind of funky. So if I were to connect this edge, it's not really going to show. Actually, I'm going to fix it because I want to show more of an edge. Okay, so now I'm going to connect all my edges of the box to the vanishing point. That way I could practice drawing the side of the box. So now I'm going to start with the side this time. And just draw a vertical line. And then from that vertical line, I'll want to connect that top part going horizontally to create the edge of the box. And then just like the other ones, I can darken my edges, darken my lines. And then erase out all of those guiding lines that we put in there. Okay, so that is the basic version of how to draw cubed objects in the different points of view. From here, you can start to play with them a little bit more. You could put holes into your boxes, or you could even start drawing more complex shapes. Like maybe you want to add in a letter and then practice drawing that letter in perspective and adding the 3D edges. So the first thing I'm going to show you, I'll add in a hole into my box. Okay, so I'm gonna make it look like my box has a, would you rather see a hole on the top or a hole on the side? Or I can do one of each in different boxes.
The top, how about that?
Okay, I'll do it on the top. So if I was gonna do it in the top, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna draw my horizontal lines. So I'm gonna start by adding a line going across the top of my box at that edge, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. And then from there, I'm just going to use that vanishing point again and line it up. And then I can pretty much cut my hole anywhere I want along this edge. If I want it to be parallel with the edge of the box, I can start at that and then just kind of scoot it in a little bit. And then I'll do the same thing on the other side. So now it just looks like a box on top of my box, and how we're going to make this look more 3D, or the box has an actual hole in it, is by finishing off the box. So I would need to connect this line as if it's going through my box. And then if this was wider and a little bit further over, I would also want to do the same thing on this line, but just adding this line here will make the box look like it has a hole in the box. And if I started to add in shading, now it looks like it's a hollow box. So I could do the same thing, using this box. I could draw another square inside of the square. And then if I want to make this hole look like it's going all the way through the box, I would want to connect these points to the vanishing point. And then same with the bottom one. And if I erase out the lines. So the last thing this box would be is if this box showed the opening on the back corner, what I would have needed to draw my box like completely see through like I did in that other one. So I could go in and figure out where that back corner of the box would be, so then I can cut more of a hole into the box. I do that by redrawing this bottom line just lightly. And so that way I can take this parallel line and draw it over and find the point where the horizontal line and then the convergence line goes across. And that'll give me the point on here where the back of the box would have ended. And then same with the top. Sorry, I lost myself for a second. I confused my own self. Like I said, perspective is hard. This is not, you have to like practice this constantly to even become like a master at it. And I'm clearly not a master. I may have given myself too big of a challenge. Okay. I think I'm gonna give up on this box. I think this is as good as it's gonna get. It just may not be a fully see-through box. But that's why I'm practicing. This kind of got that effect. So if I like shaded it in.